Welcome to Night Shadows. I'm Stewart Best, where the paranormal is normal, where that which you thought you knew, you didn't, and where the future can be known if you know exactly where to look.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in and listening. We've got Larry on his phone down there in the Southland, and we're going to do, this is just a brief update of Israel. There's a lot of activity in Israel, none of it good, and anyway, Larry's got some information for us on that, and he found a new Bible code by Barry Rothman about the assassination of this character over there that was a leading member of the Hate Israel group, just like they have a Hate Netanyahu, Hate Israel, and a Hate Trump. And then, of course, we have the Dems and Hate America. So there's a lot of hatred going around everywhere. Hi, Larry. How you doing?
Oh, hanging in, Stewart.
Let's start with this code that you've discovered. Because it ties right into what we're going to be talking about.
Well, it really does, and we'll explain to people that haven't heard what's going on in Israel later, but Barry Rothman did a Torah code today that's still under construction, November the 12th, 2019, but he found a matrix of 8 terms that really do fit into the news for today, and matter of fact, Rothman made a comment. He said, Netanyahu, according to the code, orders the assassination of Abu al-Ada of Islamic Jihad in Gaza, and the rockets fly. And that's what we've seen all day today, the 8 words in the code, and it even gives the year when it happens, in which we already know now. Number 1, Abu al-Ada. Number 2, assassinated. Number 3, Islam. Number 4, war. Number 5, 5780, which is 2019. Number 6, rocket. Number 7, Gaza. Number 8, Netanyahu.
Wow. That fits in exactly with what the inside information or intelligence is coming out. Folks, if you're not aware of it, Israel is under massive attack, missile attack, in retribution, of course, for the assassination of their leader. So Israel has, I guess, pounded a few things back, but what's the latest on that? I know your phone's been going off all day, and we had a call from somebody that has relatives over there in Israel, and same thing, only it's really real, he said, and it's really bad over there.
Yeah, I posted, matter of fact, when I did the radio show today, I posted a report by Breaking Israel News, and they were claiming, of course, that, you know, after the assassination of this individual, who, by the way, intelligence reports that this Abu al-Ada actually masterminded the previous missile attacks and terrorist attacks on Israel, and according to IDF intelligence, he was about to bring forth another one. And so they just took him out. I mean, absolutely took him out. And the BIN, and of course when they took him out, the missiles started flying, but BIN, Breaking Israel News, says today, miracles in the streets of Israel as 150-plus Gaza rockets hit Israeli buildings with injuries but no deaths. And they give a scripture there. They say you're looking at Psalm 121, verse 4. So anyway, that's what's going on, and yeah, it is bad. There's missile attacks like crazy now. We can't confirm this, but and we're not real sure, but Hal Turner seems to have intelligence that is claiming that they're about to be a Israeli Defense Forces move with armor into Gaza. So, you know, whether that's going to occur or not, we don't know. But the sad part is, apparently, what Israel is taking out, they also hit Damascus, which has not been reported really, And there's reports both ways. There's a report there they took out another senior leader of the Islamic Jihad in Gaza that was in Damascus. Some are saying he was killed in that strike on Damascus, and others are saying that he escaped the strike. So I guess we'll wait and see. But they are attacking Islamic Jihad groups, which we know that they were watching, led by Iran to prepare missile attacks against Israel. We know that was coming, and they've been talking that. And so we're waiting, we're watching very close to see where this does go.
Well, what is the situation there with their leadership? We understand that Bibi really doesn't have a government. So is he a de facto leader, or is the IDF in charge? No. And if you remember, Netanyahu is one who constantly, even though it's killed Israeli civilians as well as IDF, has always acquiesced and gone into a ceasefire so that they can rearm and do it all over again. How long do you think that's going to continue before they just get sick of it and Henry Gruver's prophecy of, okay, we've had enough, and they wipe them out?
Well, we could.
Go ahead.
Well, we could be very close to that, Stewart. And one of the factors is, even though Netanyahu basically doesn't have a government, he convened the Knesset or the Security Council in a quick session. And because he is not only the prime minister, he's also, remember, the defense minister, because when he got rid of Lieberman or fired Lieberman, he took that position, which means
that's right.
Even though he's not prime minister to a great degree, he's still the defense minister. And remember, right now, the Israeli Defense Forces or the Israeli Army are defending Israel, which kind of puts him in a unique position. And I do believe he ordered that attack. I believe he ordered it. And he knew that would start something. But I think what Netanyahu's been doing for a number of years is putting off this Gaza war that they knew it was going to keep coming. They wasn't going to get off of it. Now, by the way, here's another report, too. Debkafile is reporting, says Israel is now at war with Islamic Jihad. Missiles are coming down over Tel Aviv. And says Iran now possibly beginning to open a northern front for the al-Adha attack or assassination. Right. And so what's happened, basically the mastermind, if you will, behind these attacks is Iran. And so now this could shift into a higher gear and become involved with Iran. We're just going to have to wait and see.
What is Israel doing to defend itself other than Iron Dome? I mean, are they attacking in Gaza?
Well, we're not getting a lot of details out of that, but they're bombing Gaza. They're firing missiles into Gaza. They are fighting in Gaza, and if true, if that leak of information is true and their tanks roll into Gaza, then that'll be a game changer. We don't know that that's going to happen. We've seen the tanks go up to the border before and back off, but remember the last time that the missiles were flying, Netanyahu said they were within hours probably of sending the tanks in, the tank forces and the army. That'll be a game changer. That's going to prompt Iran to move, I do think, but we'll have to wait and see. We don't know if it's going to go that far, but Israel is defending itself, and they're bombing Gaza. There's no doubt about that, and attacking, and also attacking around Damascus and probably some Iranian forces. What's bad is we're not getting much info at all in mainstream media or a lot of the world news. This is all coming out of the Middle East only. Yeah,
and it's the report that we got independently of what you've gotten was from a fellow that's living over there. And he did say it was really bad. Here's Netanyahu took a lot of heat when he went into this ceasefire the last time, and the people were really mad at him because he didn't fight back. And I'm just wondering if that kind of pressure is on him now and what he'll do with it, because sooner or later we know that this whole thing has to go. Daniel 8, Isaiah 17, Ezekiel 38, 39, they have to go. I mean, it's in prophecy, so we know it's going to happen. I was just curious of what your take was on the pressure on Israel, or particularly Netanyahu. And if I recall right, wasn't it the IDF that was also very upset with Netanyahu for not retaliating and going into a ceasefire where they knew perfectly well what they were going to do and just rearm?
Well, that's very true, Stewart. Matter of fact, they're very close to the position of having to have a third Israeli election. And Gantz, who is Netanyahu's opponent, he's still trying to form his government, but it's not happening. And he already has said he would clean out Gaza. He would go into Gaza. So Netanyahu may be under pressure now to actually go against Gaza in a war, and then possibly, if he does that, win his the third election. But who knows? Well, I mean, I do know that Glazerson did a Torah code recently that indicated that there would be a third election, and he thought Netanyahu would be the victor.
Interesting. So maybe this is going to be a limited but very successful attack on Gaza. But, here's the problem. We don't know where we are timeline-wise. We have our guesses, but we really don't know. And that would bring in Iran. It could bring in Russia. That whole thing could escalate rapidly. Now, is the United States doing anything about this?
Well, Stewart, it's kind of funny you asked that, and let me run you this DEPCA file report. Now, is the U.S. doing anything? I'm not getting anything out of U.S. media about us being involved at all, but let me read this. DEPCA file, they post up, and the way they write it has meaning. Let me read you this and get your opinion. The DEPCA file says Russian military intelligence has leaked reports that the United States Air Force is deploying U.S. F-35 stealth warplanes to Israel. And Russian military also reporting that Israel is to provide 252,000 square miles of space with hundreds of hangars for these planes. So are we doing anything? I don't know, but it kind of reminds me of going back to the old Cyrus prophecy.
Yes.
We may be, and we don't know it.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Cyrus did a lot for Israel, and Trump's doing a lot for Israel. And so we're just going to have to wait and see how this thing plays out. And the timeline is very, very interesting for this constant heating up, dying down, heating up, dying down. And sooner or later, folks, this thing has to go. We know that from prophecy. And so I guess all one can say is, if we don't report on this stuff, we're remiss. And it has been vetted insofar as we can vet it from people over there. And, of course, Larry and this other fellow that we talked to have those apps on the phone and a missile alert, and it's been going off pretty much all day. So we know something really bad is happening over there, and it's a firecracker place, and we just don't know when the real fuse is going to get lit and the whole thing just explodes. I guess that's in the timing of the Lord. We only got a couple of maybe 30 seconds left. Larry, what's your final word? We'll do something probably tomorrow night.
Yeah, my final word is basically, the impeachment circus starts tomorrow with the House, and my concern is that Israel and the U.S. both hardly have any functioning government at all.
Yeah. Yep. And this is a good time for the people to attack, evidently. But, again, it all depends upon the Lord, folks, and His timing. The rich men of the earth may think they got everything under control. I got news for them. They don't. But, anyway, thanks a lot, Larry, for coming on and briefing us on this. And we'll probably see you tomorrow night, and for sure Friday. Depends on what happens over there. Anyway, good night.